My brother texted me a photo of his breakfast. That was our code for come find me. When we were little, our dad was a long-haul trucker who'd seen things on the road that changed him. He sat us down one summer and made us build a system. Not codes, exactly. Triggers. A photo of breakfast meant I need help, but I can't say it. A voicemail about car trouble meant I'm being watched. A text asking about mom's garden meant bring weapons. And if we ever posted a specific song on social media, a hymn called Abide With Me, it meant assume I'm already dead and send everything to the police. We thought he was paranoid. We thought the road had made him strange. My brother Callum and I would joke about it on long drives, testing each other, laughing. Dad would get quiet when we laughed. He never explained why he built the system. He just said one day you'll be glad you have it. Callum moved to Reno 3 years ago for a woman named Dinah. I didn't like her. Something behind her eyes was flat. But Callum was in love, and I kept my mouth shut because that's what you do. Over the months, he called less. Moved further from town, changed his number twice. I told myself he was just settling into a new life. Then on a Tuesday morning at 6:14 a.m., I got a photo from an unknown number. Scrambled eggs on a paper plate. No message, no context, just the photo. My hands went cold because I recognized the plate. It was the kind you get at a dollar store in bulk, and scrambled eggs were the first meal our dad ever taught us to make. It was Callum. I called him back. No answer. I called again. Nothing. I texted, "Hey, nice breakfast. You cooking for Dina?" Trying to keep it casual in case someone else had his phone. 3 minutes later, he replied, "Yeah, she's got me on a health kick, haha." And a second text right after. "Hey, have you talked to mom about her garden lately? Bring weapons." I sat in my kitchen staring at my phone, and I couldn't breathe. I drove 4 hours to Reno with Dad's old .45 and a lockbox in my trunk, and a knot in my stomach that wouldn't loosen. I had Callum's last known address from a birthday card he'd sent 8 months ago. When I pulled up, the house looked normal. Small, beige, quiet street. But every curtain was closed at noon, and there was a camera mounted above the front door that looked like it cost more than the house. I knocked. Dina opened the door with a smile that didn't reach her eyes and said Callum was at work. I said I'd wait. She said he'd be late. I said I had nowhere to be. She let me in, and the house was clean in a way that felt wrong, like a model home. No personal items, no photos, no shoes by the door. The couch had no indentation. Nobody lived in this living room. I used the bathroom and checked every room on the way. The bedroom door had a deadbolt on the outside. I want you to read that again. A deadbolt on the outside of a bedroom door. I went back to the living room and made small talk with Dina for 2 hours while my blood pounded in my ears. At 4:30, a truck pulled into the driveway. Callum walked in, and when he saw me, his face did something I'll never forget. It crumpled for half a second and then went blank. He said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "Came to see my brother." "That a crime?" He said, "No," and sat down across from me. He'd lost maybe 30 pounds. His wrists were thin. There was a mark on his neck he kept touching. Dina watched us the entire time from the kitchen doorway with her arms crossed. Never once looked at her phone. Never once left us alone. I said, "Hey Cal, you still making Dad's scrambled eggs?" He looked at me and I saw it. A flicker. He said, "Every morning." I said, "We should go get groceries. I'll drive." Dina said, "I can go." Callum said, "No, I want to go with my brother." Something passed between them. She didn't move for a long moment, and then she said, "Fine." We got in my car. I pulled out of the driveway. At the end of the block, I said, "Cal, are you okay?" He didn't answer. I said, "I got your breakfast photo." He put his hands over his face and started shaking. He said, "She won't let me leave. She took my ID. She took my money. She put something in my food once when I tried to leave, and I woke up 2 days later with that lock on the door. I didn't know if anyone would come." I drove straight to the police station. He didn't even want to go back for his clothes. The investigation found she'd done this before. 2 other men. One was still missing. Callum stayed with me for 5 months. Didn't sleep through the night for 3 of them. He's doing better now. He's got an apartment and a dog named Biscuit, and he calls me every Sunday. Last week, he sent me a photo of his breakfast, just eggs and toast. I panicked for a second and called him immediately. He laughed and said, "Relax, I just thought they looked good." Then he got quiet and said, "Thank you for remembering." Dad died in 2019. I never thought his system was anything but paranoia. He never told us what he saw on those long hauls. I think now I know.